stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.
Hello and welcome back to We Are Mighty. How you feeling? You feeling mighty today? How's the last couple of weeks been for you? Has it been ups and downs? How's your grief journey been? Do you feel as though your grief journey has evolved? Has it changed at all? Are you still in the same place you were in the beginning? Now, of course, this also depends on how far you are into the journey, if that makes sense. But still, do you feel you're stuck in the same place with the same feelings, the same thoughts, and the same energy? Or do you feel like you've evolved even a little bit to where it's not the same, even though it's there, but you may feel a little better, you may have had a breakthrough? There's so many different stages, right? There's so many different places you can be. And lately, it seems like as you get further and further away from one episode of grief, we'll call it, another one pops up. So it's a daily struggle. It's a daily journey, of course. And there's a lot to take in, a lot to process. Even for me, 3 years later, it's still overbearing. Overwhelming is over some. I'm over it, but it's over something. You know, I had court today for my son's murder, and we literally sat for 90 minutes, and the defense attorney didn't even bother to show up. Now, this was a status hearing because basically he said he wasn't ready for trial and wanted to work on some things. He didn't want to get into specifics, but work on some things. And requested the status today at that time, which was an early time. So this guy's notorious for not showing up on time, at least. But to not show up at all. Our call was at 9 o'clock. I left at 10:30. They were starting the 10 a.m. docket, and dude was still nowhere to be found. I feel like that is so disrespectful and so inconsiderate of people who are, like me. I left work to go. Now, of course, I'm going to be there because it's my child, but we sitting here for 90 minutes waiting for you and you don't even show up. Apparently, he showed up around 11 for another case and had the judge just pull that up to push it out for another status a month from now. But, yeah, the court system is really, I'm learning. As with everything, the stuff you see on TV is absolutely not the way it goes, which I don't expect it to, but you at least expect some courtesy. And, so the victim advocate, she texted me to let me know, yes, he showed up and they just pushed it out for another status next month. And I said, well, did he at least get reprimanded for not showing up and moseying on in there 2 hours later? She said, not really. That's just wrong on so many levels. I feel the judge should have said something. I feel the state's attorney who's handling our side should have said something. How do you make people sit here and, first of all, I don't want to sit and go through all these cases if I don't have to. I just want to know what's going on with the case of this person who murdered my son. And no, I'm not saying allegedly because he murdered my son, period. So to have to sit there through all of that and then to just decide, okay, do I get up and leave? Do I sit and wait? I missed 2 hours of my work day waiting for this guy to show up in court. That's my rant. I was pretty upset, pretty irritated, but I guess you have to go with the flow, however the flow takes you, right? Anyway, that had nothing to do with my topic. I really wanted to speak on the evolution. I'm not going to say the evolution of grief, maybe the evolution from grief. I guess it's the evolution of grief. And it's, you start off, and of course I've said this before, when I first had to deal with the loss of my son, I sat on my couch in the same spot for weeks. It probably was a total of 2.5 months where I just sat there, and I don't know if I was thinking or if I just was blank. I didn't care that life was going on outside because I felt like life should have stopped. My son's life did. Why is everybody else's life going okay? And so I thought nothing of my husband, my other son, my stepsons, the rest of my family. I just sat there. Now, some days I did some things. Now, of course, if I had to go to the bathroom or whatever, I'd go. But some days I may go outside and may drive somewhere or something to, I guess, break up the monotony. But it's like those 2.5 to 3 months are just a complete blur because all I could think about was my baby's gone, right? And after those few months, I decided I couldn't just sit there anymore. I couldn't sit and stew. I couldn't sit and just continually think about what happened and what I could have done differently, what he could have done differently, what could have changed, what could have prevented it, because it was done. So I decided to go back to work. And that was interesting. In my first week back, I had a trip to Fargo, North Dakota, and was there for like a week because there were so many changes going on at the company I worked at. So, I'm there and I'm trying to, be the good worker and do all the things I need to do. But at night, I'm in this hotel room by myself. So I wasn't really sleeping, just kind of laying at the ceiling until the alarm went off. Once again, thinking about what happened, what could have gone differently. And this was like a perfect opportunity for some relaxation and maybe some reflection but I just couldn't do it. But I wasn't where I was before as far as not wanting to move off the couch. So that was a little bit of an evolution from the previous, I don't want to say stage because, there's the 7 stages of grief and I don't want to say it's that, but where I was the first few months up until that point, I had moved forward a little bit. And so I was back at work for a while, noticed things that were changing because of the new ownership. We got bought out by a much bigger corporation. So the little family atmosphere we had isn't there anymore. People are just dropping off like flies. After the 1 year, the C-suite pretty much all dropped off on the same day because they had a retention bonus that they were going to receive. If they stayed until October. So the purchase happened October of 22. I think it was finalized October 22. And if they stayed on until October of 23, they all got a retention bonus. Now I'm just paraphrasing as far as the dates here, but let's say the retention bonus was paid out Friday, October 8th. Monday, October 10th, 90% of the 11th, whatever, 90% of the C-suite was gone. The CEO who had this whole conversation with us about how, well, we're still going to be a family and everything. That man jumped ship so fast. So now it's a completely different company atmosphere. It feels like we're just numbers. So I'm in another stage of grief, another type of grief. I'm grieving this wonderful company that I'd worked for 4 years is now gone. Everything has changed. My role has changed, but I still wanted to be the best at what I was doing. So even though a new type of grief has entered the chat, I still tried to stay positive. And then because of the headquarters of the company I basically was working for was in North Dakota and I'm in Illinois, so I'm a remote employee, even though I'm going to an office every day. But our office wasn't part of their, it was just such a mess. But anyway, I started to notice a difference in the way that the manager was treating me. So now I'm like, okay, she's going to be letting me go soon. I can already tell. So now I'm trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? I know that this lady's going to let me go because my work style doesn't quite fit her management style. I hate being micromanaged, and it was to an extreme, like to an extreme. I get upset all over again thinking about it. But anyway, I had been back to work a little over a year. And sure enough, I saw a Zoom meeting on my schedule. I already knew what it was going to be. That Zoom meeting lasted probably 80 seconds. She said what she had to say, and I said, yep. Do you have any questions? Nope. Have a great day. And I was out. At that point, I was already looking for something else because I knew it was coming. I could tell shift in the atmosphere. All of a sudden, team meetings were removed from my calendar, but I would hear conversations about things that were talked about in meetings that I wasn't included in. Like, it was that bad. So now here I am. I've lost a job. Another layer of grief. But I'm at the point where I'm like, there's no level of grief that can hurt me as much as losing my child. So I'll just deal with it. But to have that on top of still dealing with having lost my son, it was a lot. It's just things were piling on. Found another job, doing well at the job. There, less than a year, and got promoted to another position. Actually, my 2-year anniversary at my current job was this week. So still there. But, I'm still dealing with the grief and the pain and just, having the days of the triggers and everything. But I feel like where I am now, it's just a long story just to say, where I am now, 3 years after losing my son, I feel like I have had a sort of breakthrough that has kept me from being as depressed. It's kept me from being as sad on a daily basis. Of course, I still have my triggers. I still have things that, I have to deal with emotion-wise, but I feel like I'm getting somewhere. There's a bar here in town that is not directly across the street, but it's right around the corner from where my son was killed. You can see the building where my son was killed, from this bar. And, I sang in a band, and we've had gigs at this bar, and I just told them, look, I can't go there because of where it's located. And, they do karaoke every week, and I've always wanted to go, and I've tried. Over the past 3 years, I've tried to go there. The very first time I pulled up there, I said to my husband, I can't remember the last time I was here at night. And then I remember the last time I was there at night was the night that my son was shot. And pretty much had a panic attack, couldn't get out of the car, and we went home. And I tried another time to go, and before we even got there, I was in tears. And the last time I tried to go was about a month or so ago. And I had even gotten bold enough to make the announcement. Yes, I am going to this bar. Come and support me. I'm going to do karaoke. And the closer it got to time to go, I was hyperventilating. I was crying, and I couldn't do it. So I was just like, all right, maybe next week. Because I couldn't do it on my own. So this past weekend, our band did have a gig there again. And I said, okay, guys, I'm going to do it this time with you as my support system. This isn't me just trying to go, hang out and do karaoke. I'll have my bandmates with me. And my husband always comes to my shows, so I have my husband supporting me. I'm going to do it. And so leading up to it, I would get messages from different members of the band. Are you sure you're going to be able to do this? I got this. We got this. We're going to be good. And so the day came. I get dressed. Getting dressed, I'm nervous. I'm sweating. I'm shaking. But I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. I got a support system with me. I can do it this time. We get there, and I start to hyperventilate a little bit. And it was funny because I was kind of looking in the direction of the building, and my husband's like, look the other way. But I got out of the car, which was huge. And I went into the bar, which was also huge. And I don't see any of my bandmates. So now I'm freaking out. I see the instruments, but I don't see anybody. Literally start to have a panic attack. And I see my bass player and his wife. And so I go to sit by them, but it's too late. Panic attack is taking over. And they were the sweetest people. I know these people in this bar probably thought we were crazy because they are just standing over me. It's okay. Just breathe. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Slow it down. Just breathe. Don't forget to breathe. And I'm trying to catch my breath, and I'm tearing up. And it was just full on panic attack. And this man begins to pray in this bar. But it helped me. And I calmed down. And the rest of the night, we had a ball. I performed with the band. It was a 3-hour show. Did I have some triggers? Yes. There was actually a young man there who I know his mother, and he went to school with my son. They just happened to have the same name, and the lead singer of the band goes, I see you, Miles. So, yeah, that really threw me off. And my husband thought he was going to have to run up to me, and I caught myself, and I saw Miles, so I knew who she was talking to. But to hear that was crazy. And at one point, an ambulance drove by with the lights on, and it kind of triggered me. But I was proud of myself that I was able to, in the moment, yes, after the panic attack, but in the moment, recognize those triggers as they came and suppress them. I gave it a moment. I gave it 15 seconds? I don't know. I gave it that to deal with it, to breathe through it, and then keep going. Now, will I be going back down there anytime soon? I don't know. Because it really was a lot emotionally to be there. but it was fun. And that's one of the things that I think people have a hard time understanding is even though you're grieving, you can still have fun. You can still have moments where you smile. You can still have moments where you have a good time. I saw a post that somebody made saying, somebody told me that they was grieving, but I just saw them in the club the other day. How does that happen? I'm paraphrasing, but something along those lines. And it's like, going to the club don't stop you from grieving? What is that supposed to mean? You're still grieving. Grief is a journey. When it's related to a loss of a family member or someone who's very close to you, that can be a lifelong journey. I know my aunt died, at least, 15 years ago? No, more than 15 years ago, because my son, who is now 29, was a toddler. And my cousin still grieves that loss. My mom and my other aunt still grieve that loss. So you're going to grieve it, but that doesn't mean you'll never have a good time again. You'll never experience happiness again. That you'll never experience joy again. That's not it. You'll experience it. And sometimes, unfortunately, you will feel regret or remorse over experiencing it. And you shouldn't. Your life has to go on. Your loved one would want that. I know they're like, how can you say what? Your loved one would not want you. If it's someone who cares about you as much as you care about them, they would not want you wallowing in your grief. And that's where I am now. I'm trying my best. I cannot wallow in grief. I cannot be sad all the time. I cannot be upset all the time. I am allowing myself to enjoy what I can of life. I miss my son every day. Every hour or so, something pops in my head that makes me miss him. But I know my son, and I know how he lived, and there's no way he would allow me to live in sadness, in fear, in anger due to grief. And so I find a way to have him with me. You know, I have this necklace. I literally never take it off. Everywhere I go, it's there. I have been in formal outfits with other jewelry, and my son is still hanging there. And I wish somebody would say something. I think they know better. But I still take him with me wherever I go. And that's what we have to do. Don't let the memories die. Don't let, all of the good times that you had with that person die with them. But don't allow yourself to die because they did. Because obviously, if you're here, it's not your time. So enjoy life. Evolve from the grief. Baby steps, because baby steps they add up and they become bigger steps. And before you know it, you've taken a big dinosaur leap away from where you were when you first started dealing with it. And it's okay. I promise you, it's okay. Now, me having that panic attack, was that a step backward? I don't believe so. It actually was me moving forward, me actually facing that fear of being in the area of that building and finding a way to enjoy myself at the same time. And I don't feel bad about it. And I know my son wouldn't want me to feel bad about it. I could hear him. Do your thing, mama. And that's what I'm trying to do. Now, is every day going to be like that? Of course not. But make it a goal to have one or two. And what? One or two in a month? I don't know. One or two, period. That you can say, oh, I've had at least 2 days that I was able to enjoy myself in the midst of the grief. because it's not going anywhere. And that's the thing. We got to learn to live with it. It sucks. I hate it. But we have to learn to live with it. You have too much going for you to let grief keep you from it. And nope, I don't know you from Adam, but I'm still telling you. You have too much going for you. You have too much in store. There's too much for you to experience to allow grief to keep you from it. Now, if you're early in your journey, I'm sure this sounds impossible. Trust me, I've been there and I know. We're on this journey together. We're in this together. I'm here to not necessarily guide you through it, but to let you know it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a challenge day after day, but you will get through it, I promise. Just keep your eye on whatever prize that you have, whatever prize is there for you, whatever is at the end of your rainbow, whatever other cliche you want to think of, keep it positive. Now, if you go back to some of my first videos, you're not going to see this laughter and this, the little joking, because it was that difficult for me. And that's the thing. You can see the evolution from the first videos where I could barely formulate a thought where I wasn't depressed to where I'm now looking back on the depression and saying, move forward from it. And my grief journey is far from over. It won't be over. So I hope that you take a serious look at where you are today from where you were when your grief journey started. And if it's the same, just make a little step to do something different. Like my friend said, getting up and getting dressed can be huge when you're dealing with grief. If you haven't been able to do that, just try it one day. Just try to do something different with your hair. Do something different with, your clothing. But I got 50 pair of glasses, so, change out your glasses. Buy a new pair of glasses. Whatever you need to do just to make a tiny step forward, because that's how you begin it. It won't start until you start. The evolution is so important because it pulls you out of that funk. It pulls you out of that constant pain, the constant darkness of grief. Because if you allow it, that's what it'll be. It's all right to have some sunshine. It actually feels good. So I hope you take a minute to try to evolve just a little bit. Pull away from the darkness, pull away from the sadness. Let yourself smile. It feels so much different, even though you're still dealing with grief. Remember, in everything you do, be true to yourself, be strong, and be mighty. We are here every other Friday, everywhere you listen to podcasts, and you can watch us on Spotify and YouTube. I still got the email address if you'd like to email me. We are mighty24@gmail.com. Evolve. Just take that first step. That's the hardest one. See you next time.
They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now. stop me, no.